Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's video is my top 10 foundations and skin tints, and I'm going to rank them. I've been wanting to do this video for a while, but I've kind of been putting it off, to be honest, because I'm not the best at ranking products. It was very easy for me to pick my top 10, but it wasn't easy for me to rank them. So I've kind of been going back and forth on a few of these, but I feel pretty good about my list and my ranking. So I wanted to include foundations and skin tints in this video instead of doing a top 10 foundations and a top 10 skin tints. I wanted to just give you my top 10 complexion products. So that's today's video, and if you are new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty content here on YouTube. I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't already, and let's just get into the ranking. All right, before we get into the products and the ranking, I wanted to share my skin type for those of you that maybe don't watch my videos or have never watched my videos before. My skin type is normal. I do have an oilier T-zone, especially in the summertime. So in the US, that is right now, but overall my skin is pretty normal. I have a little bit of sensitivity, but I would say overall it's normal, oily T-zone. One more thing I want to say before I get into the ranking is just because the product is ranking number 10 doesn't mean I don't like it. These are truly my top 10 complexion products, and I love foundations. I love skin tints. It's one of my favorite parts of makeup. So I've tried a lot, and so all 10 of these I love. So just remember that. Just because it's ranking lower than something else doesn't mean I don't like it. I love these, but something's got to be number 10. You know what I mean? All right, let's get into it. Number 10 is this from Yensa. This is the Skin on Skin BC foundation. Full coverage CC and BB cream with SPF 40. I discovered this probably 6 months ago, maybe a little bit more than that. And I just tried it one day on a whim and loved it. To me, this is the better version of the IT Cosmetics CC cream. This is just better than that. The shades, the undertones are better, and overall it looks better on my skin. The IT Cosmetics I always wanted to love, but I just never did. Now, this is a medium full coverage. I wouldn't even call it medium. I would say this is a full coverage product, and that is the reason why this is ranking number 10, because on a daily basis, I don't wear full coverage. So I don't wear this one as much as these other products, which is why it's ranking at number 10. But when I do want a full coverage complexion product, this is definitely one that I will be reaching for. I love it. It wears beautifully on me. It does have a strong smell. That's another reason I'm ranking it a little bit lower. Not a deal breaker for me, but it does have a pretty strong kind of floral smell. But the way it looks on my skin for the amount of coverage that it has, and it has SPF, I think it's an absolutely beautiful product. I don't hear anyone talk about this, but I love it. So if you are looking for a full coverage, you want some SPF, this from Yensa is absolutely beautiful. Number 9 is from Patrick Ta, and it's the Major Skin Cream Foundation and Powder. Now this I find to be a very polarizing product. People either loved this or absolutely hated it. I personally loved it. I've loved it since the very first time that I've tried it. You can see I've hit Major Pan on mine. And what I like about this is a cream foundation, if applied correctly, looks the most skin-like. It is the closest finish to actual skin, in my opinion. However, it is a cream, so you have to apply this sparingly. If you over apply it because it is a cream texture, it will look heavy. So the key with this is, number 1, you have to really prep your skin, really hydrate your skin, and you have to use less than you think maybe you need. I actually love that it's in a little compact like this with the cream and the powder in here. I do wish he made refills so that you could refill this, because as you can see, I'm definitely going to go through this faster than I'm going to go through this. But it is the most beautiful natural skin-like finish, medium coverage. The reason this is ranking a little bit lower down on the list is because it is a cream For that reason, a cream foundation is not something I'm going to reach for all the time. Creams, they're very emollient and they don't wear as long as a liquid foundation, in my opinion. So that's why it's ranking a little bit lower. For that reason, I don't reach for it as much as some of the others on this list, but I still love it. If it's not super hot out and I want my skin to look like skin with a little bit of coverage, this is a beautiful product. Number 8 may shock you if you've been around my channel for a while, because this used to be my top foundation, and it's NARS Light Reflecting. Don't be mad at me, it's still on the list. I still love it, and I still think it's a beautiful product. I just have found some other things in the last year or so that do rank a little bit higher than this for me now, but I still think this is a beautiful foundation. This is a good middle of the road coverage. It's solid medium. It is long wearing, for me at least. It's very long wearing on my skin. It's a very thin, it's not a heavy foundation at all, but it does still give a decent amount of coverage. One thing I do want to point out, this foundation, I don't know if it's just mine, but my pump doesn't work very well. So when you pump it, not much product comes out. So I find that I have to really pump this a lot to get a normal amount of product that I would use. For that reason, it kind of makes a mess, which is a bit annoying, but that's a minor thing. I still think this is a beautiful product. I also wanted to point out about this one, the NARS shade range definitely runs warm. So this is a neutral shade. To me, it definitely runs pretty warm. I find that to be true with NARS concealers and foundations. Just something to keep in mind. I wear the shade Deauville in this, and it's a decent shade match, but it's definitely not perfect. The finish on this is definitely on the glowier side, but it's not overly glowy. It hits that perfect amount of glow. It's definitely more than a matte finish, but I wouldn't call it a super dewy foundation. It kind of falls right in between, veering a little bit more than natural. I do think it would work for most skin types. Even though it's a bit glowy, I think it's just glowy enough to work for most people. Number 7 is by the brand Ciele, and it's the Tint and Protect Tinted Serum with SPF 50. I tried this probably 6 months ago, maybe a little bit more than that. This is a newer brand to Sephora, and this product is so impressive. First of all, it has SPF 50, and it's all mineral. So all mineral SPF. I know a lot of people only want to use mineral SPFs. This is such a pretty lightweight skin tint, or it's a serum tint, skin tint. They're the same in my opinion, but this actually gives decent coverage for this type of product. Typically a serum tint, you won't get more than like a light coverage, maybe light medium, but you can actually get close to a true medium coverage with this product if you build it up a little bit. I would say that this gives a natural leaning, slightly glowy finish. So I do think if you have super oily skin, this might be a little bit too glowy or serumy for you. But if you have even combo skin, normal, dry skin, I think you would love this. The only thing I'm not crazy about with it is it does have the dropper packaging. It's not like a deal breaker for me. And I do find this one actually doesn't get super messy like some of the other droppers do. But that's honestly not my favorite packaging, but that's really the only negative thing I have to say about this. It wears very well for a thin serum type of product, and the coverage is great. This is one of the best tinted skin tints serums on the market, in my opinion. This is just a perfect everyday staple. If you want something thin, lightweight, some coverage but not too much, and you like having an SPF, this from Ciele is absolutely stunning. Number 6 is this one from Revlon. This is the Illuminance Skin Caring Foundation with 5% squalane and hyaluronic acid. If you've been around my channel for a while, you may remember there was a time when I was using this exclusively. This is one of those products that blew me away from the first time I tried it. It's so beautiful on the skin. It is on the glowier side, but it looks so pretty and just natural on your skin. If you want that really juicy, hydrated, glowy skin with a light amount of coverage. This is absolutely beautiful. Now, I will say if you have really oily skin, because it has all the squalane and the hyaluronic acid, it will probably be too much for you if you have very oily skin. But anyone else, especially dry skin or more mature skin, this is such a beautiful product, and I think it's so underrated. I don't hear hardly anyone talk about this. I don't reach for this one as much in the summertime just because it is super hydrating and it's on the glowier side. So for long wear and extreme heat, this is probably not going to be the one to go for. But if you're just wanting a glowy, everyday, lightweight, light coverage product with a lot of hydration, this from Revlon is so good. Highly underrated in my opinion. Moving into top 5. Now these were really hard to rank. Really hard. So there's not a big difference between these 5. I love them all, so just keep that in mind. But number 5 has to go to this from Chanel. This is the Le Beige Water Fresh Tint. This is relatively new to me. I know this is such a holy grail for a lot of people. I absolutely love this. I can confidently say I've never tried anything that is this lightweight and truly looks like nothing on your skin. It is undetectable on the skin, truly. I've been hearing people say that for the longest time, and now that I own it and I've used it, I get exactly what they're saying. This, I use about 1.5 pumps to 2 pumps, rub it in with my hands, and it gives just the slightest bit of a tint. Not even coverage, I would say. It gives just a little bit of a tint to your skin and makes you look healthy and just slightly more even toned than you do with no makeup. So if you're looking for the ultimate undetectable type of product to just give your skin a little bit of life, a little bit of evenness, I would say this is definitely a product you want to look into. It is on the expensive side, but it is so unique. I do think it's worth the price. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And it's also pretty long wearing for a product that's this thin and lightweight and water. I mean, it's like 70% water, but it still looks good all day long. It's iconic for a reason. People love this product, and I definitely see why. I think if you're looking for the ultimate no makeup, undetectable skin tint, look no further. Keeping with the Chanel theme, number 4 is the Le Beige Healthy Glow Foundation. This is also a pretty new product to me, but this is so pretty. I was honestly surprised by how much I liked this. I ordered this on a whim from Chanel when I was ordering some other things, and I was surprised at how much I like this. The reason I love it is because this has a glow. So it's called the Healthy Glow, but it truly is a healthy glow. It is not, there's a difference between being glowy, like a healthy lit from within type of glow, and an oily, metallic type of glow. This is the healthy lit from within type of glow. It gives a solid medium coverage, no more than that. I would say even less, honestly, depending on how much product you get. Probably more like a light medium coverage. But because the glow is minimal, it's there, but it's not super glowy. I think most skin types would like this foundation. Again, it's very thin on the skin. You will see that as a theme in these products that I'm picking. I don't like thick products on my skin. No matter what level of coverage I'm wanting, I want them to be as thin and lightweight as possible. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. And this is another product I don't hear people talking about this. And I feel like it's gotta be one of Chanel's better foundations because it's beautiful. It's long wearing. It has that glow, but it does last on the skin, even in heat. I have worn this when it is in the 90s outside, and by the end of the day, it still looks pretty good for 90-degree weather. So I think this is absolutely beautiful. Highly recommend from Chanel. It does have the Chanel scent. If you're not a fan of that, just keep that in mind. It does have the smell, but it does go away when you apply it. But I think this is absolutely stunning. All right, moving into top 3. So these 3 were extremely difficult to rank, but definitely my top 3. Number 3 is the Makeup Forever HG Skin Hydra Glow foundation. I absolutely love this. As you can see, I bought two. This is medium coverage, definitely on the glowier side. So again, if you have really oily skin, I don't think this one will be for you most likely. Number 2 and number 1 will be though, so stay tuned. But these, if you want a glowy, medium coverage, this is so beautiful. So beautiful. And what stands out to me about this the most is its long wearing. Typically, a foundation with this much hydration and glow after, 6-7 hours, the wear is not the best, typically. But this one, I have worn this for 12 plus hours and been shocked at the end of the day by how good it still looks when I take my makeup off. I think of all the glowy products I've mentioned, the most long wearing one is this one. For that reason, that's why it's ranking number 3. I wear this when I want to look my best, when I want to look a little bit more than like an everyday type of makeup look, and I want that glow, kind of juicy, glassy looking skin. This is the foundation that I'm using. I will often mix them because sometimes I can't really get away with one or the other of these shades, so I just mix the two. But if you want a glow, medium coverage, long-lasting wear, this is going to be for you. If you have oily skin, I would assume the HD Skin, the original foundation, would work really well. That didn't work great on my skin, but I don't have oily skin. So if you're wanting this formula, but you have very oily skin, maybe try the original HD Skin foundation. But for me, this is so good. All right, number 2 and number 1, I switched these up a few times because I love both of these. So really I can't rank them, but I'm gonna rank them, but they're pretty much even. Number 2, I went with the Prada foundation. This is the Skin Optimizing Foundation. This is 10 out of 10. I love everything about this. I think this is absolutely beautiful. This is what I have on today. I wore this instead of the number 1 product because number 1 I wear all the time and I wanted to give the Prada some more love. I mixed these 2 shades today because this one was too light, this one's a little too dark, so I mixed them. But these are the most beautiful soft matte finish on your skin. So they are more matte than anything else that I've mentioned, but not in a dry or a flat, lifeless skin kind of way. These are soft matte, like they're a blurring foundation. This blurs your skin. It does. It does not look dry, it does not look heavy, but it has this beautiful blurring quality to it that I love and I don't have in other products, which is why this is ranking number 2. The packaging is absolutely stunning on this. Every time I pull these out to use them, I just get giddy because I love the packaging. They're refillable, so once you use it up, you can take this out and buy a refill for it, which is nice because this is definitely an expensive foundation. This checks all the boxes. It wears beautifully. It's a medium coverage. You can build it up a little bit. It has that beautiful soft matte, slightly blurring finish to it without being too much. And it's also customizable. So if I go in with a really glowy primer underneath this, it's gonna look a little bit more glowy. If I used a mattifying primer, it's gonna lean a little bit more matte. So it's very customizable and it's just stunning. I had to put this at number 2. I love it. And number 1, if you've made it this far in the video, you probably know what number 1 is if you are familiar with my content at all. Number 1 has to go to my good old trusty Estee Lauder Double Wear Sheer. I've talked about this about a million times on my channel. It is still my number 1. That's why I never shut up about it. I love this stuff. It is thin, lightweight. It has a little bit of SPF, but not a ton. So I don't really like it for the SPF, but it does have it. If you're curious, it is chemical SPF though. The reason I love this is because it is such a thin, watery texture, but it gives a little bit of coverage, but this stuff lasts on your skin. And this is the type of product I want to put on my skin on a daily basis. It's not heavy, it doesn't look makeup-y, it gives a little bit of coverage, but not a ton. And it will wear all day long. I don't care how long you're wearing this, this will last on your skin. It's from the Double Wear line from Estee Lauder. So it has that double wear, long wearing quality to it, but it's thin, it's not heavy or full coverage like the original. They are beautiful if you want to use this, and then if you need more coverage, use a concealer that has a little bit more coverage where you need it. And that is my perfect everyday makeup combination. I do it all the time. I have two of them, but I kind of want to get a third one, so I have a darker shade than these two. Another thing that stands out to me about this product is this is more of a skin tint feeling type of product, but it has more of a soft matte finish. So it's similar in finish to the Prada foundation with less coverage. And that's pretty unusual for a skin tint or a tinted moisturizer. We don't see a ton of more matte options. They're typically very glowy. So for that reason, I think any skin type can wear this. If you have a hydrated glowy base, like the Prada foundation, this will kind of take on that base. If your skin is more matte underneath, this will take on that finish. So it's very customizable. It's the perfect lightweight everyday makeup product. All right, those are my top 10 foundations and skin tints and my ranking. I hope you enjoyed. This was very difficult to rank, like I said, so I had to really sit down and think about my choices here, but all 10 of these products I love and highly recommend if they sound like they would work for you and your skin. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will have all of these foundations and skin tints linked below and in YouTube shopping for you as well. If you use my links, I do make a commission that supports my channel, so thank you so much if you do. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe and follow me over on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair1, and I will see you again very soon. Remember, simply be you. Bye.